Amanda, we know a lot about the fund now and your investments within the fund and your beliefs on various commodities around the world. But let's learn a little bit more about Amanda as a person. Tell us a little bit about your lifestyle.
I think I'm a normal...
What do you do in your life?
I'm a normal girl in London. I work a lot of hours, but I have the privilege of loving my job. I really, really enjoy it. And a lot of my friends that I've developed in London have sort of come out of the industry. But London's a vibrant environment, generally speaking, and I like to enjoy it for all it's worth. There's some amazing museums in this city, which I belong to a few. I belong to the Tate. And I like visiting them with my friends, and the fact that London is such a central city and so important to mining finance, that means my friends that work in the industry around the world are always willing to get on a plane and come and visit. So I think London, the choice of living in London and being able to enjoy the city for all it's worth is a big part of helping me enjoy what I do.
Any other hobbies that you have?
I recently took up surfing, which has been a humbling experience. I've so far stuck to a combination of South Africa and Mexico and Morocco for surfing. I'm trying to work up my skill levels and perhaps my fortitude so I can try Cornwall. But I haven't quite gotten there yet.
So you've gone to South Africa to learn to surf. That to me I would have thought that would have been a difficult place to learn to surf, because I assume the surf down there is pretty intense.
It is intense, but they've got this. So every year there's a mining conference in Cape Town called Indaba, which is kind of an annual must-attend event. And so I've been going for like 6 or 7 years now. And eventually you travel off the beaten path, and once you've had quite enough wine tastings, you try to do something different. So for the last few years, I've taken surfing lessons in and around the conference, and it's proved very, very interesting. It's fun. I'm not saying I'm a great surfer, but it's enjoyable to learn.
I always liken surfing. I've done a bit of surfing over the years. I surfed this summer myself for the first time in 18 years, which was interesting. But I always liken it to trading and investing, really, because when you're out there surfing, you see all the professional surfers and they're sitting there waiting for the right wave to come along. But as a beginner, we're trying to paddle away and catch every wave. But the reality is we have to wait for that right wave, just like we have to wait for the right investments to come along at the right time, don't we?
That's a great analogy. You do have to wait for the right wave, and timing is a huge. You do so much fundamental analysis and so much analysis of the market, but the greatest skill you can learn is patience and timing, and I hate to admit it, but so much of it's just a gut instinct. Like, yeah, I'm going to catch that wave. That's it. I'm going, and it's all based on a huge amount of knowledge and work that you've done in the past. But you do have to make reasonably quick decisions. And it's a lot like investing. I also find that the stress of working in the city meant that I also took up yoga. I don't know if I'd still be sane if it wasn't for yoga. Luckily, London seems absolutely full of yoga studios these days. So
I've tried hot yoga. That was fascinating. I did it a few times and really intense. I don't know if that's the type of yoga you've done, or...
I started with hot yoga because working in the city, you think you have to go hardcore right away. But I've since pulled back to a sort of slightly more meditative form of less hot yoga, which is a habit or a hobby I've managed to maintain. I think it's half the meditative aspect that keeps me going, as well as the exercise aspect.
And it's something you do at the beginning of the day, because a lot of people who work in the city do it before work, early.
Yeah. So there's 6:45 a.m. But yeah, it's a great way to start your day. When you've got a hard day of trading and meetings ahead of you, it's a wonderful way to start your day.